My Wikipedia says I'm a professional stock car race, or I'm a professional American. Fuck, I don't even know what it says. Professional
It's on
American stock car.
Wikipedia?
Yeah, it's like a professional American stock car racing driver. I think that's what it's called.
Wow. So how did you go from just dabbling to like full blown?
Um, I did a test at Rockingham, and there's a video of it. Where I went to Rockingham and I just tested like a cup car that I bought and set up, which was probably stupid. It didn't even have a front sway bar, but very dumb of me. Now that I think about it, but we tested out there, and this was in like 2020, maybe 2020, maybe March or something, September 2020, and I we were real fast. In retrospect, so a guy walked up to me and he was like, "Hey, like you should start racing for real." He's like, "You're a gajillion% faster than all these people. Look at all my D and Qs. I love it.
What's a D&Q?
Did not qualify. Look at them all. It's just all of them.
I don't even know what I'm looking at. What is it?
It means you didn't qualify for the race.
Oh, it's
And
just 3. Who
it's
cares?
all of them. No, it's funny because it's all of them. No, that won't happen again, luckily. But it is kind of funny when you look at it. So, anyways, I'll get into that too. But basically, I was testing at Rockingham, and we were real fast in comparison to everybody else. Like we were running 27, 26-second laps.
What makes you fast? How much of is it you versus the car and like the amount of speed holes you have, or
Well,
whatever?
when somebody's running 26 seconds a lap at some whatever track, and another guy runs like 26.1, another guy runs 26.15, another guy runs 26.2, and the track record's 25.7, you're all doing what you're supposed to be doing. There's people, and this is only in the beginning stages, you'll see this. There's people that will get into race cars and they're like 2 seconds, 3 seconds slower than the pace of the field. Because and I don't care what car you're in, you're not going to be 3 seconds slower than the pace of like the mid pack. You're just not. And that means they either A, don't know what they're doing, or B, they're too afraid to, or they haven't learned how to go fast. It's like a weird, like different thing you learn. You have to be on the edge all the time. So that's kind of the deal. But at any rate, we were fast at Rockingham. Guy said I needed to do some real racing. I was like, all right, cool. So I started short track racing in this series that was pretty much ran by like ARCA and NASCAR drivers. And I raced it for 2 years and went from getting lapped like 10 times a race to not at all, finishing lead lap like 4th or 5th. So randomly in December at the Content House, I think we were at the Content House, this guy that's been involved in like NASCAR for years called me and asked me if I wanted to apply for my like ARCA license, which ARCA is owned by NASCAR. It's like the kind of like the main feeder series now. And they race at all the same tracks. They're there. Like we'll race at Talladega April 20th, the day before the Cup race. It'll be on the same channel on TV and everything. So, anyways, he asked me to come test, and we did good at the test, and they NASCAR approved me because it's this NASCAR same sanctioning body, and it all worked out. So now I'm doing this somehow.
So none of this has to do with looks. You don't have to blow anyone. It's not like showbiz. You don't have to like.
I would have, but no.
Wow, must be nice.
I would have, but no. Yeah, so it's been real interesting, and the first 2 races of the year were wild. Daytona was definitely not going to happen. Definitely not going to happen. There was 50 cars there. We had no owner's points, and the car I was in was like thrown together in like 4 seconds, and it was just never going to happen. That's fine. But at Phoenix, we were real fast, and I had never been on the racetrack. It's a really weird track. It's shaped like a damn, like a fucking. It's weird. It's got like it's this dog leg that you skip, and I was on old tires in qualifying too. I was the only car in the field on old tires because General Tire ran out of tires for a short period of time, which just ruined everything for me. But we ran like a 30-second lap, which is only with old tires in like an old random car, which was 2 seconds off like the pole, but only like 4/10 off of mid pack. And basically how it works was 43 cars showed up, and there was this very weird scenario where if you have owners points provisionals. That's how you get into a race if you're not in the top 32 in times. They'll give people that are in high points positions from last year, they'll just put you in the race. It's called a provisional. And there was one team that they're like the fast team, like one of the top teams. Basically, the worst case scenario was the top team, all 4 of their drivers just failed to qualify.
Drug tests, or they overslept,
or no, they just weren't fast enough. And basically, all 4 of them, if only one of them were fast enough to qualify, which all 4 of them should be, then we're in the race, right? Well, the fucking stars aligned, and every one of them did not qualify. I was like a second faster than all of these guys, and it's like one of the top teams. And I was like, what? So, of course, they got all the provisionals. Now I'm in a weird spot where I'm out of the race. This is weird. Like, this has never happened before in the entire, which is hilarious that it happened to me. Like, what the fuck? Anyways, so
you have the best luck.
I have it's a weird situation. So, anyways, that happened. But there was a West Series provisional. So there's ARCA East and West and ARCA Maine. There's like 3 series that are across the whole country. And ARCA Maine shares races with ARCA West and East. So they'll just race in the same race and points are divvied up. Well, the ARCA West drivers got 4 provisionals as well. And only 3 of them were used, meaning there's 1 left.
Ooh.
So I'm like, I get out of the car. We were like 2/10 from qualifying. And we should have had new tires. If I had new tires, we'd been in the race, but whatever. And I was like, oh shit, that means we're in, right? That means we're fucking in. There's 1 left. And the only guy that could ever be eligible for it, did not make a lap in qualifying, which is required. He wrecked in practice. A guy from out west. He spun in practice, totaled his car, just fucking destroyed it. So he didn't run qualifying, which means,
is he okay? Do these people get hurt?
No. So he's fine. So that means the 1 provisional goes to me, right? That's what everybody's thinking. Well, some stuff behind the scenes happened, and some really, really high level executives got involved. It's from what I, can gather, and they changed the rules in that situation, so the guy that wrecked just gets to race anyway. So they brought out a backup car.
It's because he's black.
That's
my first go-to.
I wouldn't be surprised. No, he brought out a backup car and he was in the race over me, and we got kicked out of the race, and everybody was fucking freaking out. And apparently it came from somewhere up high. The dude is apparently related to somebody that's like high level.
Wow. Nepotism.
It was just one of those weird things, man. And I had some people call me 2 days ago that are very high up in the deal, and they apologized and said, this was just a thing. This was a thing that never happens, and we're sorry, and we want you to continue running full time. I'm like, yeah, of course I'm gonna run full time. I have contracts, but it's still, it was just a weird situation. So I'm not angry at it, but it was kind of annoying. But it's all good.
Yeah, it just seems like an unfair thing. But there's
well, I mean, I guess
personally,
I'm like the new kid on the block, so it didn't really bother him to throw my ass out.
So if you gotten in, what would have happened next?
We would have just raced. We would have just raced, and we would have probably finished 15th to 20th, I'd imagine. If all things considered, we were pretty fast.
Ribbon for that?
Was that?
Did you get a ribbon? Is there are there like podiums?
No, you just get points and whatnot, and then you move on to the next race, which is at Pensacola next week.
Wow, damn. So like, what does your schedule look like now? Like, is it every month
It's like every other week until May and June. Then it's every weekend. So we'll be at Pensacola, and then we have a 3-week break, which is the longest break in the entire year. And then we have just race after race. I don't have a weekend off for like a month and a half. And it's we race Talladega April 20th in the Frog Car.
Do you need a Southern accent to be a race car driver, or does it help?
None of them do.
What?
No, there's only like a tiny handful of these guys that are from the South.
The movies I've been watching have steered me wrong.
The movies are based from like 80 to like 99, which was pretty much all Southern, and then it became a multi-billion-dollar corporation. And now anybody can get in from anywhere. Like if you have any kind of racing talent, you can kind of try to make your way there. So a ton of the guys are still from like North Carolina, like 10% of them. Then the rest are everybody I've ever worked with is from Chicago. And they all have like hyper Chicago accents. Every team I've ever, they're all Chicago. Chicago, everyone. So
Chicago makes sense. You got to drive fast to get away from the you-know-who's.
yes.
So
Yes.
you got to get those skills up.
But
that's so interesting.
We don't have to worry about that DNQ stuff anymore. It's just funny that my entire like career just says DNQ. It's hilarious. But but at Pensacola, we'll be racing. We're locked in. And Talladega, we're locked in. So then we have the rest of the year, and we won't. The reason that I DNQ'd those first races, the Phoenix thing was a weird deal, but this is the first year in like 10 years, 15 years where they have had a lot of cars show up, so much so that they have to send people home in DNQ. This is like the first time it's ever fucking happened in a long time.
Wow.
So yeah, but the car counts start to slow down because basically Phoenix and Daytona are a real big deal for like the West Series and the Main Series. So after that, the car counts will go down to 25, and I'll be in every race. It doesn't matter what happens.
And are those races where you have the Cyber Frog car? Like, and how did that partnership come about?
So Cyber Frog is Talladega and Dover, which is the race the week after. And so
that
it's April 20th and April 26th.
Oh wow.
And the thing is that it was so random. I was streaming and I was like, I had no idea how I was gonna like race this year. My goal was to race 4 races this year, 4 or 5 races. And then I was going to short track race the rest of the year, just like do my other thing I've been doing. And EVS just sent me a link to a stream. He was like, "You should come on my show," because I was talking about something he was like that was kind of related to what he was talking about on his stream. And I jumped in and we talked about NASCAR a little bit. And then I was like, "Yeah, I'm looking for sponsorships." And like he's like, "How do I get a Cyber Frog on your car?" And I'm like, "Well, we could do a wrap." And we were just kind of just joking about it. And then 2 days later, he started a campaign and it made $120,000.
Wow.
And which sponsors me for 2 races, basically, pretty much covers everything. Of course, like half of it goes to EVS because he has to fund all the stuff that he was, because there's like another cover of a comic book, there's like a diecast car in the stuff. So but it's this goofy car right here. I put
up.
That's it.
This looks like a Matchbox car.
Yeah, that's going to be the car we run at Talladega. And it's going to be a real fast car. It's going to have an Ilmor spec engine. It's going to be all out. We're going all out.
Who designed this?
A guy named Joshua Lamb, maybe. I think Joshua Lamb, maybe.
So did Ethan have to draw a different version of the frogs for this, or did they take something he already did?
I think the frogs are something he already did. But Josh designed all of it, and there was 4 of them. And they had a poll, and this one won. I preferred the red one, but all the other ones were green. But this looks awesome too, and so this is the Talladega car. But yeah, I just went on a stream, and then he texts me, and he's like, "Let's do a campaign," and I'm like, "All right," and it just really worked out. It really went crazier than I thought, and got Talladega, which is the most expensive race of the year. Because you basically have to be in the same top tier ride as everybody else to even hang in the pack at all.
Wow.
So you have to have the best engine, which we do, and you have to have a super speedway chassis and body, which we do, and you have to have a good team, which we do.
How do you get all those parts? Like, are you even in control of, or what kind of parts you have?
No, you basically will contact a team and be like, "Hey, I'm looking for an opportunity." And they'll be like, "Well, here's what we have, and let me get your resume." And once you send them a resume and they are comfortable with putting you in a car, they'll tell you kind of how much it costs to like hop in a car for a weekend. And then if you say yay or nay, basically. And it's basically, it's this way for every motorsport, by the way. So people were really angry at me on Twitter because they don't like EVS. And that's fine. but they were angry at me. They said I shouldn't have taken this sponsorship from EVS because they don't like EVS, and they are
And
like,
that's how the internet works. If some
yeah,
people don't like someone, then that means you have to fall in line and also not like them. That's
yeah.
just the rules.
Random faceless like viewers and like random commenters think they have so much more power than they do. It's so strange. But anyways,
But you don't have your own brain,
yeah,
Cody.
yeah,
You just have to do what people tell you. Yeah.
yeah. So they were like, you should not accept this sponsorship. And then they started attacking me personally. Like I should sell my house. And they were like, if you're gonna race, you should pay for it yourself, and you should sell your house and sell your cars just so you can pay.
Yeah, Cody, why can't you just live in your car?
Yeah, like you shouldn't be getting money from like businesses. So like they don't attack Amazon or anything, but they of course attack me, a small ass random dude that has like not enough money to do this,
And
obviously.
it's not like you had the choice between someone these people like and someone these people don't like. It's like this was the opportunity. It's like,
Yeah, exactly. And so anyway, this is how motorsports works. But people are angry and they said I should fund it myself. And then if they ever turned on a NASCAR deal or a Formula One deal or anything, you'll notice every single car has like a paint scheme and a gajillion logos on it from like Napa and Target and Walmart all over these cars. Where do you think that comes from and what do you think that's for? That is for the driver to hop in the car. The driver will have a relationship with Target
and we know you're not
already.
gonna get one with Walmart at this point
No,
now. You've talked too
no.
much shit.
Yeah. So, like a driver will already have a relationship with Target through a previous deal. He'll approach Target. Hey, I'm going to be racing the Xfinity Series this year. I need $5 million, and then we'll just combine all marketing with Target. It's going to be crazy and big. And Target will say yay or nay, and then Target puts their logo on the car, and they have all their executives at every event, and it's all paid for. It's like a big deal. It's a big marketing thing, big media thing. And these drivers are already worth like $100 million, by the way, when they do this. But they're angry at
Like
me.
jockeys.
Yeah, but they're angry at me for accepting this kick-ass rap because EVS is behind it. And I'm like,
You're here to be angrier at people that are more accessible. Like,
yeah. And
um,
basically the people that are angry don't understand what sponsorship is and how you race. Like it costs $500,000 a year to race. Like in a series like in the NASCAR feeder series like I'm doing. It costs $500,000 a year. And am I just supposed to just be a millionaire? Like I can't. That's half the kids in the field they're like billionaires. That's why they're there. I'm not.
are a lot of them like have family money? Like how to
Oh yeah, they're all like 17, 18 years old, and
what?
they're like you can Google almost every single kid, and it's like yeah, their family owns 23 different chains of gas stations, and I'm like yeah,
Oh, always a gas
it's
station.
always or they're the CEO of this company or the
It's like
CFO of this
Bucky
company.
Jr. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's how they always have. But anyways, that's how that works. So, um, that's why the Sour Frog's on the car, for 2 races, and Talladega is the most expensive one, which is why it's only on for 2 races. Otherwise, it'd probably be about 4. But Talladega is like a $40,000 like deal. You have to be able to provide $40,000 via sponsorship to run that race, and that's what we're doing. And then we're covered for the rest of the year after that. So it all worked out.
That's very, very cool. Who do you have to put the stickers on yourself?
No, I don't. I think the team is in like Denver, North Carolina. I
Okay.
won't even see the car until I get fitted in the seat, and it won't even have a paint scheme.
Oh,
It won't have a wrap on it or anything when I go there.
that's neat.
Yeah. So
Is it like when I talk to porn stars, they talk about how they have to get ready before a scene and like they're all this anal prep because it's like a
yeah,
bird before takeoff. You have to poop before you
yeah,
fly.
yeah,
And I wonder if do you have a similar um regime or something you do before a big race, things you eat, you want to make sure you go to the bathroom. Like is there a
yeah.
specific thing you have to do to get your
You,
body ready?
I take liquid IVs. I take like 2 liquid IVs, and then I will eat something small, and then I'll hop in the car. As soon as you get in the car, if it's like anything past April or May, all the way to October, and you get in the car, you're not going to have to piss. There's this thing where it's like, oh, what do you do when you have to piss? You don't have to piss because
You
you're
just
so
don't? How long
dehydrated.
are you in there for?
Hours. Talladega will be over 2 hours, and
Your
it's
body just like yeah, probably just you're not drinking a lot of water, your body probably just, like, absorbs your pee.
yeah. When you're at Talladega, it'll be 130 degrees in the car, 140 degrees, and you're in there for 2 hours. So you
Ooh.
don't. There has never been a time where I had to piss when I was in the race car, like where I had to piss bad. So I
But if
don't
you
think.
had to pee, didn't you tell me that the car has holes in it, you can just pee out
Yeah.
seat?
There's drainage in the seat. You just piss yourself if you absolutely had to.
How many people are doing that?
Oh god, no one probably. It's just when you get in that if unless you're having races like during winter, you're gonna be dehydrated. And even when it's 70 degrees or 65 degrees outside, the car's still over 100 degrees. So
Wow.
yeah, it's something I've never really experienced, especially in July and June. Like it's July and June, you'll start hallucinating and shit because it's so damn hot.
Wow, fun.
So the
Do you
sport
feel
will
like
take liquid IVs. They will provide them for you.
do you feel like what happened to you when you weren't chosen for that race was racist?
Yes. Yes. 100%. No, it was very frustrating, but it's all good. We moved on from it, and
Yeah.
we're still covered for the whole year, and we're still gonna have a really good year. And I have another company that's gonna jump on that I visited in Phoenix. They're thinking about jumping on, and that'll be real cool because I'd love that as well. Um, so we'll see. We'll see, man. It's gonna be fun.
How exciting. There's also another interested party with
Yeah.
sponsorship for you.
Yeah. The whole reason we're gonna be able to race all year is I met with Tim Pool because I was on Pop Culture Crisis, and we talked about it, and he was super interested in just doing the whole year. So
Wow. How
he
did it come up? How did the conversation come up?
oh, I was real nervous. I was just playing pool with Tim, or like kind of spectating and like being involved a
And
little
you
bit.
were there to do Pop Culture Crisis, which is Mary Morgan's show,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. And so I went downstairs and I was hanging out and I was like talking to Tim a little bit about, and he was like, "Are you the like NASCAR guy?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's me." And he's like, "Oh, awesome." And we started just talking about racing, and he was really interested in like all like this random stuff, like what does it feel like to go fast, and like is there G forces and all that, and like what do you have to, the same stuff, like what do you have to do when you have to piss, and
Everyone asked the P question.
yeah, and then I was like, kind of, yeah, I'm looking for sponsorship. I did a thing with EBS, blah blah blah, and he pretty much just cut me off and was like, "Dude, like, how much is it for a whole year? Like, to have a Timcast wrap on your car for a whole year?" And I
Ooh.
just told him, like, the rough estimate, and he was like, "Yeah, I'll do that 100%. Let's do it." And,
Is that a number you can say or not really?
no, not really.
Okay.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
But it's pretty cool, but and then, I don't think we've announced it yet, but there's another company coming on in conjunction with Tim, um, for like the same amount. So it's almost the same amount. So it's like a double hit. And yeah, it's gonna be the whole year. We'll have a Timcast car for the entire year. So and that starts at Kansas, I think. So Kansas on May 4th, I think. So
Is, what's his wrap gonna look like? Is it gonna be chickens? Is it gonna be
that'll
Jack
be great.
Murphy? Like, what's gonna be on the wrap?
I don't know. His designers are working on it right now.
That's cool.
And they're gonna send it to me. I think in like the next 2 weeks, probably. And then we're good to
Wow.
go. And then we just start rolling. We're gonna start rolling the ball. And I think Tim's gonna try to come to a few races. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm very,
That
very excited.
seems very much like something he'd be interested in. He's done, like, billboards in Times Square. He likes to be splashy and, like,
Yeah,
it's a cool thing to do. It makes sense. Wow.
yeah, yeah. It's gonna be really, really cool. I'm very, very pumped about it. So thank God. Thank God for Tim Pool. And same thing. People are angry because they found out about the Tim Pool thing, and they're like, "I don't like Tim Pool." And I'm like, "What the hell is that?"
"Why, Tim? You should've gone broke. You should've sold your house."
Yeah, like what they don't realize is the people they prefer are they're the people that they like. The people that are angry about this, are always angry because they're like tribal, so they have sides of whatever conflict they think they're on, but they always end up on the side of people that are entirely self-serving, and they don't do stuff
Uh,
like this. That's like the common misconception is like, well, I don't like this person. I like the other person in the conflict. I'm like, well, the other person doesn't give a fuck about doing this program with me or anything that has to do with anything. They are just want to put money in their pocket. They don't give a fuck. So like that's the whole point. And I'm not going to be mad at somebody for supporting me when the people that they prefer are not supporting me. So like that doesn't make any damn sense, right? So
yeah,
yeah, it's very silly to me, but exciting. So
that is that is super exciting. Because what would if Tim Pool had not come along, would you have had to try to like I don't know, reach out to like a Target or like you know
well, my entire idea um was alternative media because I'm kind of in it, and I have a really big following on Rumble, which is weird because Rumble doesn't push me, right? But I have almost 30,000 followers on Rumble, and because I've been doing it for years, and the Rumble shows get good feedback. So I was like tweeting at Rumble. I'm like, "Come on, Rumble! Like, what are you doing? Let's do
yeah,
this."
green car with black that I can see
Yeah,
that.
and I was like, "This is a no brainer, man. You give like $5 million to Rice Gum to look at eBay tennis shoes and go, lit." Like, and you all you have to do is give me a couple $100,000 and we'll have an exclusive Rumble car in NASCAR. It'd be the coolest shit ever. Like this would be awesome. And they don't even they see that shit. One of them had like 1,000 likes, like a gajillion retweets. Yeah, I think the quartering retweeted it too. And like Rumble's just fucking ignoring it, which is fine. They're not obligated. I'm just like, this is a good
Yeah.
opportunity. Like get into some real shit. And I was confused as to why they didn't really see a benefit. But on the opposite end of the spectrum, Tim Pool immediately was like, he saw the fucking, he's like, this is awesome. This is why has Rumble not done this with you? And I'm like, I don't know. And he's like, dude, this is awesome. And he's like, I got a company or I have a friend that works for or owns a company that's similar. It's like a platform. Let me contact them and see what they want to do. And he like sat down and texted them for 4 seconds and was like, yeah, they
That's
said they're on board.
awesome.
He's like, yeah, they're going to do it too. And I'm like,
People can shit on Tim Pool all you want, but he really does put his money where his mouth is. He has put his cash up for causes that are worthy. He really does like I think walk the walk in terms of where he puts his money. Like he will sponsor things like that are in line with his values.
yeah.
Um
And it's going to help me a lot because what people don't understand is the results are one thing, but when you like you fund somebody because you're sponsoring the person, not the like an organization, and that gives me the necessary tools to like get on a good team like at Talladega and get on a good team at Kansas and Charlotte, which is what I'm doing. Like a large portion of this money, like a fourth or not a fourth, but like a fifth or a sixth of it is going to go to 3 races because they're big tracks. You have to have a really good car to do anything at these tracks. And that's like otherwise I wouldn't be racing at all, right? But if I was scrounging up like a little bit of money here and there, I could run for a team probably like half the races, but it's not going to be a team that can do anything. It's going to be like a team that's running on a 20-year-old chassis on a 20-year-old engine that's got 5,000 miles on it. It's ain't got shit going on, right? And with Tim Pool's help and other people's help, like EBS, we're going to have an engine that's fresh. It's the top engine. It's the Ilmore. It's the Arca Ilmore engine. We're going to have a brand new body. We have a good, solid super speedway chassis. And we're going to have a actual legitimate shot to get a good top 10 at Talladega, which is my goal, is to get a good top
what about a
top 10.
30-year-old engine that's funny, that has a lot of good stories, that's like a good hang?
Been wore out, but it has character. Yeah.
Doesn't have as many miles on it as it looks like it might.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's basically the idea is, there's opportunities to do a lot of things, and just with people sponsoring and jumping on board, it makes all these opportunities 10 times better. Like for example, the team I've been racing for at Phoenix, they had a great car. A lot of people shit on this team because the guy that runs it, he is an old school dude. He does not want to run the new engines at big tracks, which is where it matters. He doesn't want to do this. He wants to keep it old school. And people were like, "Well, he's trash," and I'm like, "Well, I disagree because he's a very impressive man. He's really old, you know." And if I have support, I can take $20,000 and I can buy a used Arca Ilmore that has 800 miles on it, and now I'm suddenly almost there at Kansas, Charlotte, Michigan, if I chose to go that route. And that's all it takes. It's just money and time. And but the chassis I used at Phoenix was solid as fuck. It was a great chassis. It's the same chassis builder that built my 12 car. And I could get more out of it. If I had fresh tires, we would have been barely a second off of the pole in this old car with an old engine at Phoenix. Right. So with a new engine, like a new Arca Ilmore engine, some fresh tires and a decent setup on a pull down rig, that car would be in the top 10. You just need money and time. And that's kind of where we're at. So,
how much are race car tires?
2,400 per set.
Whoo! And you need 2 sets?
Yeah. At minimum 2 sets.
Oh.
We got 0 at Phoenix because they ran out.
Wow. And like for a regular car, what is it? Like $100 is a decent. You never want to buy the cheapest tire.
The Kumos.
My dad taught me that.
The Kokomus, the Kumos.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. Well, if you have like a normal ass car with like non-low profile tires, yeah, it's like 150 per tire. But if you have my R8, like I have an Audi R8, and the tires on it are like $1,800 for all 4. Yeah, it's rough, man. So, yeah,
that's
it's
fun.
pretty awful. I brought truck tires because I had a flat in my truck on the way to Phoenix, and they were, I think, $1,600 for all 4. They're huge, huge tires. So
that's really fun.
But you and Frank should come to a race.
Yes. Could I be a flag girl? Could I be like, when I get back to my pre-pregnancy figure, I could drape myself in a checkerboard outfit.
Yes. That's Azia's gonna do it. Well,
yes. Oh my God, Zia was born to be a flag girl. Is that what they're even called? A round girl?
Well, she's gonna be our personal like team girl. No, I just told her that she's gonna do it. She didn't accept. I'm sure she would, but I'm just talking about some boy shorts that are checkered and some like a bikini top.
Oh my God, it would be perfect. She'd be so great for it.
Yeah. Gonna be awesome. So I'm excited. But
yeah, no, you should have like a Camel Thoughts crew, like gang with you.
Yeah, I agree. We'll have them at every track, and that'll also bring some attention. So, but there's all kinds of races. Let me see. Where I don't even know. You're in like New Jersey or something dumb like that,
New
right?
York.
Okay. Let's look at New York. So we have Talladega, Dover, which is Delaware, Kansas, Charlotte's in North Carolina, Iowa, Berlin. I don't know where that is. Elko, Salem, Michigan. Milwaukee Mile. I guess that's in Milwaukee. I don't know where Milwaukee is.
Wisconsin.
September 13th, Watkins Glen. Thunder Valley, New York.
Ooh, that sounds like upstate.
Yeah, dude. And it's a road course. That'd be fun. And we should be running it. I'm going to try to make it happen. The road courses are the only 2 on my schedule, which I wasn't planning on running because you have to have a road course car. And like none of the teams have a road course car. But that being said, I think I'm going to make it happen. I think I'm going to figure it out and lay down some cash and jump in a car and do some road course racing because I've always wanted to. So, and I've done it in the past. I just I've never done
like it. Dirtier, like you're on a dirt street.
No, it's road course is like it's not an oval. It's like it's a Formula 1 track. Watkins Glen is where the Formula 1 cars raced up until like 2008 or something, in New York, and it's like that. It's just a paved road course with a bunch of turns left, right, all up, fucking everywhere. Whereas an oval is just a big old circle.
Yeah, like does it get boring? Like how many laps around is your biggest race that you've done?
Like 150.
150 laps?
Yeah.
What if you lose count? I would lose count.
No, you have a guy in your ear always. But no, it doesn't. It never gets boring. Absolutely not. It would get boring if you're at Daytona or Talladega and you were out of the draft and you were just by yourself. That would be boring. But the first couple laps you take at Talladega is like very life changing because you're going like 180 miles an hour and your face is like pulling off and the G-force is like really new and weird. But after 5 laps, you get used to it. So yeah, that would be boring. But the difference is when you're in the pack in Talladega, it's terrible. It's not boring because there's like 40 cars and they're all an inch away from you.
What's your biggest worry? Is it getting flipping over?
No, flipping looks scary, but it's like the safest way you can really wreck. Because you're in a cocoon, you're not going anywhere. The worst wreck is like to hit the wall, like get turned, like going max speed and just hit the wall head on. That's like the worst wreck you can have. That's when you like break your collarbone every time. So yeah, it's that's I guess that's your biggest worry, and your biggest worry also is just wrecking in general. I think that's like the biggest worry. There's not really anything else. Just wrecking. That's the biggest worry. You know.
Have you ever broken anything?
No, I've wrecked a ton though, but I've never broken anything.
Knock on wood.
So I got hit one time, and the car almost flipped because the guy hit me so hard, and it just like I was just a little bruised, like on my ribs.
Wow, that would make you pee if anything.